As much as I do advocate 100% only using a genuine makeup, I understand that we all started from somewhere. So today I wanted to challenge myself. If you want to see me play with some Davis pencils, which yes, I actually did used to use these as my eyeshadow. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Thumbs up if you like my brows, because I'm actually really happy with the way this turned out. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm kind of going to be challenging myself to do something a little bit different, because I've never really before the past couple of years, I've never really been someone who's into makeup. I'm not one of those people who, when you're 6 years old, used to go steal your mom's makeup and play in it or any of that, you know. So I only recently got into makeup when I came onto YouTube and I wanted to look presentable. So I have been taking you sort of on my makeup journey with me as I've been learning things. And this past year alone has seen such huge growth for me as a makeup loving artisty person ish. So yeah, I know a lot of you watched my older videos, and I even watched videos from a year ago, and I'm just what were you thinking? You look like a hot mess. Even some videos from 6 months ago, I'm still I would not make those same choices. So we're all learning, we're all growing. But today I really wanted to challenge myself to use the exact same type of makeup products that I used at the very beginning of my makeup journey, because now I've grown in my makeup loving journey to be able to access and play with different types of brands and understand them and all of that. But in the very beginning, I used to only use River Road makeup when I was practicing and getting to know what my style is, figuring out what my undertone, my skin is, and everything. So today's video is a challenge to see the cheapest full face glam that I can create with makeup from my collection. And I'm gonna make it super cheap, because I'm using my very first makeup products, kind of sticking to the same techniques, but now adding my newly acquired expertise to make it look glam and snatched and everything. So hopefully by the thumbnail, I hope you've seen that this worked out, because I honestly have no idea where this video is going. But this intro is becoming too long, so if you want to see me play with some Davis pencils, which yes, I actually did used to use these as my eyeshadow, so that's what we're going to be doing today, as well as a knockoff foundation, because we all start with knockoff foundations. If you're still buying River Road makeup, don't feel bad, because we all begin there, but we don't all end there. So yeah, you begin there, but you don't actually stop there or stick there. But this is a MAC foundation I got for 150 shillings, as well as the Pond's thing, which I've never really understood, but I guess it's powder and cream and whatever, and a concealer. So we're going to be using that and trying to get full face glam. So if you want to see how all of that works out on my face, then just keep watching. First of all, I'm going to start with moisturizer, and I'm not going to count this towards the total cost of this full face, because you really should be using moisturizer, whatever moisturizer you have. I just really like the Nivea, because I feel it goes on underneath all my makeup so beautifully, so it doesn't matter how expensive the product is or how cheap the product is. This I do use as both a moisturizer and a primer, because I use such a thick layer of it that it does actually protect my skin from all the chemicals and products and whatever I'm putting on top of it, especially because with fake makeup you never know what it's actually made of. I mean, the Davis pencils get a pass from me because they're just pencils, but the chemicals and the creams and the liquids and whatever, I don't trust those on my skin. So if you are starting in makeup, this is a good way to practice your makeup skills, but long term I feel it does more damage to your skin than good, so might as well just look for a sale and get good makeup. But I do use a lot of moisturizer on my skin, especially because it is dry. So I'm just going to show you how much of that I use right now. And you can see that I actually start off with quite a lot, but I do massage it into my skin until it mostly disappears, and this is part of what gives me that glowy look that I love so much. And I use it as my lip balm as well. So fun fact, instead of using normal lip balms, because I find that after a while those dry out my lips so much, so I just take a little bit like this and rub it all over my lips, and I'm good. Okay, step 2 for me is always foundation. I know people go in with their brows first, but I don't like having to duck around my brows as I'm doing the rest of my face. So I like to get my base done first and then go in with brows. And I'm using this fake MAC, so the count for the cost of this full face is going to start here with 150 shillings. I'm not too sure about the cost of these ones, just because I've had them in my collection for the longest time, but we're just going to round everything up to about 150, because I know that's around the price that I paid for them, because back then I was not willing to spend more than that on makeup, because then and even now I don't wear makeup every day. So yeah, 150, 150, and then 30 bob for the Davis pencils. So I think I'm going to use one dropper because this actually looks like a really thick formula. So yeah. Okay, so I've used just about half of one dropper on like half my face, and you can see the color match is pretty spot on. The thing about these foundations is that they look really, really good, like right up front. You're going to look flawless in the beginning, but then like after an hour or 2 hours, you find that it starts breaking up. When you hug someone, it transfers, so it just embarrasses you throughout the day. But at the very beginning, like now my face looks flawless and glowy and all of that good stuff that I love. So I have no complaints. The color match is pretty damn good. And it has 2 shade names on it. So this is C29 or NW58. It's really neither of those, but in case you want to like go buy one for 150 and you want to match yourself, that's the one that I picked up, and that's the one that's kind of matching my face, at least. Absolutely perfect. Okay, so this is what one layer looks like, and my face doesn't look horrible. It looks glowy, and I love a good glow, but this is kind of looking almost sweaty to me. And before you say it's because I didn't let the moisturizer sink into my skin, I do that with all my foundations, and they don't look quite this greasy right at the beginning. So I'm tempted to like step away for like 10 minutes and give it a bit of time to like sink into my skin before we continue. I still have a lot left on my hand, and I think I'm gonna build it up just because I want to look absolutely flawless, and then I'll give it a few minutes to like settle into my skin, and we'll see what it looks like once it started drying. And for my brows, I am going to be using the Davis 03 pencil because this was my go-to pencil for the longest time, but now I've replaced it with the Jacqueline Guido pen because I get flawless brows with that with like little effort, whereas with this one I feel like sometimes I go overboard and I'm trying to fill it in, and then my brows look a bit too dark or a bit too like too much, basically. Just it's easy to go too much with this, whereas with the pen it's easier for me to control and like create baby little flicks. So I'm going to try to be careful and like have the best possible brows with this pencil, and then we'll be back. So we're going to say that's 150 for the foundation plus 30 bob for the pencil, though if you buy a dozen of these, they sell 12 to you at 180, which is like 12 bob per pencil, which is amazing. So I think because I did buy a dozen, I am going to say 12 bob for this instead of 30 bob. So we're only at 162 shillings, and we'll see how my brows turn out. So it's been about 10 minutes, and I did use both these products to curve out my brows. So we're going to add 150 and 150 to that tally. So I used the darkest shade in this pan and this dark cream right here, mix them in, curve them out, and I'm pretty happy with the way it's turned out. And yeah, I feel like the foundation is still looking super, super greasy. So I'm just going to take the powder in this pond situation. It is a little bit too light for it's a lot bit too light for me, but this foundation is a lot darker than like my body. So I'm just going to powder all over my face to like set it and make the glowiness, the shininess like calm down a lot. I should conceal underneath my eyes. So I'm going to take this darker shade of concealer and okay, that just fell apart, but it's fine because I never use this, so it's okay. I'm just going to take this darker shade of concealer, which is still way, way too light, a concealer shade for me. If you haven't seen my fake MAC video, I'll link it up here. You will see that this shade is way too light for me, but it didn't perform horribly in that video. So I am just going to use my finger and like press it on and then blend it in with a sponge and then go over everything with powder and set it and lock it in. Then we can move on. I am going to go in with my very fat Davis pencil. I don't know what the naming difference is between this and this, but this is not good for brows. This is amazing for brows. I'm going to go in with this and use it as my contour because I realized that I don't actually have a brown eyeshadow from downtown that I can use in here. So I'm going to attempt to like cream contour with this pencil, and hopefully it works out. I'm trying to stick to the rules as much as I possibly can to only use like the downtown products. I don't want to cheat, so we're gonna add 30 bob to that running tally. I have no idea where it is right now, but we're gonna add 30 bob and we're gonna see how glam we can get with this pencil. Also, I should mention that I'm not counting brushes towards this look just because the brushes that I own from downtown, like I used to own a very long time ago, are horrible, horrible, horrible. I would not recommend getting brushes from Dubois, whatever you want to call it. Mwitu brushes are terrible, except for this one. This one is the only remaining from that set that I bought, and I bought it for like 700 shillings. This is the only good brush from an entire set of 10 because this is absolutely perfect for like my nose contour. It's the only one that I trust with that. So it does have a bit of color because I always use it for my nose contour, but I'm just going to use this because it's very small and very, very soft. I love this brush, but out of 10, it's like I basically bought this brush for 750, which makes no sense, but I'm going to use this brush just because it's very small and it will concentrate the contour in an area where I can control versus like going in with my sponge and getting it everywhere and then having to clean it up. So with all this talking, I still haven't put powder on my face, but I feel like even the glowiness of the foundation is kind of calming down because of the matte concealer that I've put on. And now that I'm adding more and more products, they sort of distract the eye from the shininess of the foundation. Then I'll just set everything with the powder after. And you see this pencil is actually blending out pretty damn well. I know that line looks really, really harsh, but I am going to blend it in a bit better, so don't judge me. But I just wanted to show you again on this side how easy it is to blend. So even if you don't have like a contour powder or contour cream to use, because the Pond's one is a little too light for me, like for contour, and I think it only comes in one shade, so you can actually use your Davis pencil. I prefer the fat one because I feel like it's creamier than like this eyebrow one, so if I try to like scratch it onto my skin, I feel like this one would actually lift the product. But these are amazing for like lip liner. Then I'm going to take whatever is left on the brush and just go in on my nose and contour that. Then I'm just going to blend everything in with this sponge that still has my concealer and foundation on it, so it will just diffuse everything really well. And voila! Okay, I didn't expect this powder to have this much pigment on it, so yeah, I'm really hoping I didn't just mess that up. It doesn't look as light on my skin as it does in the pan, so I feel like that's part of the problem. Swatch it here and see. Even on my hand it looks pretty light, but on my eyes you saw with me that it looked really dark, so I'm not crazy. But I think instead of using a sponge, I'm going to go in with my regular brush and try to set the rest of my face. And oh my gosh, this has so much more pigment than I expected. I thought it would be a bit more transparent of a powder, but it's really not, so don't underestimate these pond things. Okay, so I feel like the powder is sticking weirdly onto both the concealer and the foundation, because like over here it's sort of seeming to lift the foundation and not really want to blend everything together. So yeah, this is a problem with using downtown makeup, but I am still determined to look fully glam at the end of this, so I'm just going to touch up whatever seems to have disappeared with my powder application, and then we shall move on to the eyes. Okay, so this is where we are with the eyeshadow so far, and I don't remember it taking this much work to like look. Well, my standards for presentable back then were much lower, but I don't remember it taking this much work for it to like actually work on my eyes. I noticed that it does take a bit of time to warm up the colors, so I tried going in directly with the crayon, the pencil, like right on my eyes, and it was just balling up and no color payoff was coming off. So I tried rubbing it on my finger and like putting it down, but as soon as you try to like blend it out and move it around, it sort of starts like fading and like getting very toned down. So this is after a lot of like layers and like babying it and trying to go in with a brush and like brushing away the clumpiness, and this has just it's been a journey getting here. But I did go in with a brown shadow first, and I did just use that on the outer corner and like sort of try to bring it into the crease just to add a bit of dimension to the look, even though I knew it would basically like blend away, though it hasn't completely blended away. I don't know if you can see that on the outer corner, but it adds a really nice smoky like vibe to it. And by the way, these three are each 30 bob, so this is only 90 bob added to my tally. And yeah, I did go in with that and then blend it with my brush, and then I went in to intensify it on the outer corners, and then I went in with the blue one because I literally used to use only these two. I never even went in with this, and I would just do like blue outside and like pink in the center, and I remember it being a lot brighter, but I'm glad that it's kind of toned down for this, so it can kind of look like a jeweled style look thing. I haven't used any other thing on my eyes except for these three, and I mean, after a lot of work and after the help of lashes, it's actually coming together. So these are lashes that I did get downtown. I did get a pack of 3 for $3.50, and you can see I still have one left, and I literally got it like 4 months ago or something. They're not my exclusive lashes, but they are like simple enough that I can wear them to a meeting or somewhere where I don't want to be dramatic. So I use these lashes until they get lost. I never throw them away. I always just clean them, reuse them. So for $3.50, that's amazing, but I only bought the pack because I couldn't find single ones that I liked. So I usually buy a pair at 100, so we're just going to add 100 bob to my tally. But yeah, with the lashes and everything, it kind of brings this entire look together. I'm just sort of tempted to like touch up the pink part so that it's a bit more like shiny and bright, and then you just like blend it into each other so that it doesn't look the way I used to make it look, which is like blocks on blocks on blocks of color. And then I have used a black kajal in my waterline. I did used to use one of these pencils in my waterline, but I noticed after literally like 10 minutes it would smudge and get everywhere, so I have just used my Maybelline as a substitute because I can't actually find a black one. But we're gonna add another 30 bob to that, to my tally. Now I want to go in with a green pencil. I kind of don't want to mess up this look, but I did used to do a very, very colorful look, and these pencils are the things that introduced me to putting color on my lower lash line. So I want to go in with a dark green and like see what it does. So as you can see on my hand, it is pretty bold, but for some reason, I guess because I'm not being as aggressive on my eyes, it's not coming out as pigmented. Like none of the colors are coming out that pigmented, but I do want to add like a bit of color, as I always used to my eye look. And I also don't still have any of my mascaras from Downtown, so I am just going in with my Maybelline one because this is my absolute favorite like lower lash line mascara. I also used it on the top lash line, but I'm just going to add 100 bob because I did used to use a lot of mascara from Downtown for the longest time. Even after I switched over to like genuine makeup, things like mascara, because I do wear lashes, didn't really matter to me, so I don't actually have one of them handy. But I'm just going to say 100 bob for the mascara part of this video, so I am cheating just a little bit but not too much. So I did go into the pink shade that's in my inner corner underneath my brow bone, and I really like that, but I feel like I want to add a bit more punch, a bit more oomph to this look. So I am pulling out this eyeshadow palette from my original like $1 makeup video, and I did buy this for 400 bob, but because I am only going to be using one shade, and I feel like you can get a palette Downtown that has all these shades that I'm using, so we're just going to assume these are all combined into one. So I'm going to divide the 400 bob price tag that I paid for this like 2 years ago literally by the 12 shades that are in the palette. So since I'm only using one, that's like 33.33 something, so I'm going to say it's 30 bob, and we're going to add that to the tally because I'm only going to use this color, and I'm only putting that in my inner corner right here, a bit under my brow bone, just to really intensify that highest point. And then I'm going to use that shade as my face highlight. The only liquid lipsticks that I have left are these three, and I feel like I've used these two in previous videos, so I'm going to go with this one, which I'm pretty sure I paid 100 bob for it like 2 years ago. I never used it, so yeah, the formula isn't great, but I feel like it will complement the eye look pretty well. Okay, so as it's drying, we can talk about it for a second. This one literally makes me feel like I can get lipstick all the way up to my nose, so you have to be so careful. And the formula is very, very thin. It has a sweet smell, which, I mean, it doesn't smell bad, but it is a bit too sweet for my liking. I don't know. But I actually do really like this color. I feel like it kind of complements the look. I wish it was a bit more blue purple, but it's okay. It's not terrible. I like that it is bold, and the formula is thick enough that it actually does cover my lips, so I'm not mad at that. It's not like a too light watery formula, even though it does feel that way as it's going onto your lips. But yes, this is my final look for the day. Pretty happy with the way everything turned out, and I love that the liquid lipstick has already basically dried as I was talking to you, so you can actually get a final look at what I look like. I never mentioned the lash glue that I used. So I used to use, like back in the day, black lash glue, because once you like smudge it around a little bit, it does sort of make you look like you already have a liner on your eyes. But what I realized is when you mess up, it messes up really badly. So these days I do use a clear glue, but we're just gonna say 100 bob because that's the cost of the other glue that I used to use that I also don't have in my collection now. So everything that I have used on my face, if I'm not wrong, excluding the moisturizer, as I mentioned before, which is only like 175, so it's not even like it's adding a whole huge cost to everything, but the total of everything is about 850 shillings, and you can create this entirely snatched look. And I'm actually really happy with the way it turned out. I feel like it surprised me with how much I like it, but the eyeshadow was actual hell. So if you can find one of those 200 bob palettes that they sell Downtown, I think I've seen like a Charm Max one or something that has like shimmers and matte, you can use it as your highlight for your eyeshadow and everything, and it will save you so much more time than using these pencils. Although the final result isn't terrible, but I'm pretty sure this is going to fade away in like an hour. I'm not doing like a full-on wear test of this look because I just created this to show you that you can actually get a fully glam look using the cheapest possible products from like River Road, Dubois, Situation, Dubois as you call it. I've heard all sorts of things. These days I think the popular name to call it is Mwitu. So Mwitu makeup can actually give you like a fully glam look, and you can actually look really good, but it won't last throughout the day. So if you have like a photo shoot, or you just want to practice at home in the evening before you like wash your face and go to sleep, you just want to test something out, you can create this look for 850 shillings. total. The one thing that I would say should be a takeaway for you is the lashes, because you can see how beautiful these lashes are. All my lashes are from Downtown. It's very hard for me to imagine spending more than 100 bob on lashes, considering I can get amazing one for like 100 bob. Downtown, all my dramatic ones, my simple ones, always from Downtown. So if you're gonna go for any, go for those. And this is the Iman makeup liquid lipstick, and I'm actually not mad at the way this is looking. I'm loving the color that it's giving me. So if you can get this for 100 bob, I feel like if you're gonna be buying lipsticks from Downtown, get this one, because it is the best color payoff that I've ever gotten from there. So if I'm going to recommend anything, I will recommend this. But keep in mind that you don't know what ingredients are actually in this product. So even beyond putting it on your skin and like risking breakouts and acne and all of that, I wouldn't want to put it on my lips, because as you're eating, the lipstick that smudges off your lips is actually being ingested by you. So you're actually swallowing these unknown chemicals, which is why I cannot recommend Downtown makeup. Also, this polish is Downtown. Now that you're talking about Mwitu makeup, I might as well mention it. This is a Kylie one from Downtown. It is terrible. I literally have to redo my nails every day, but for the yellow, I will make the sacrifice. I'm just going to end this video here. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you found it helpful. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thumbs up if you like my brows, because I'm actually really happy with the way this turned out. Thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.